So I'm joined here by Phillip Sheppard in the green room ahead of the Keith Tippett celebration event this evening. Now, Phillip worked with Keith about 20 years ago on the Janinka recording and tour.
Yep.
So tell us more, Phillip, tell us some of your memories.
So I met Keith actually through a combination of people in common, some from Dartington, some from sort of the contemporary music world. And he was really the first person who kind of gave me license to think of myself as being a bit more than just a cellist. I come from a classical background. I'm kind of a recovering classical musician, and I've always been interested in composing music, but never really been given permission to do that. When you kind of in the classical education system, they actually actively discourage it. And I remember spending probably about 3 or 4 hours with Keith one afternoon in some random arts centre. I couldn't tell you where. This is going back a long way. This is probably 25 years ago, I would think. With him just sitting down and playing with me. And one of the best things he told me that day was, improvisation is a bit of a dirty word. I'm in danger of doing a Keith accent, a dirty word. And he said, don't think of it as improvisation, think of it as spontaneous composition. It's like, I can do that. And in spontaneous composition, it's knowing when not to play. And really from that day on, I started thinking of myself as being a spontaneous composer. So the string quartet that I was in at the time, we started doing fully improvised gigs. And we were a classical string quartet, but we'd turn up and we would have music stands out, and then at the end of a piece we'd actually turn to show the audience we were playing off blank sheets of paper, which would provoke quite an angry reaction, though they'd been applauding the music up until that point. And then that turned into a regular visits to the Rare Music Club to work with Keith, and obviously he was down at Dartington and I was working and teaching down there as well, which is fantastic. And in the end, we plucked up the courage to ask Keith to write a piano quintet which became Janinka, which was dedicated to Janinka, his kids, and it just crystallised into this lovely sort of summation of where we were all coming from. And we did things like the Bath Jazz Festival, tours of Italy, fabulous. But Keith really, for me, is the person who made me a composer. I'm a full-time composer now. I play the cello really for fun. I've written 65 movie scores. If I hadn't met Keith, I don't think I would have done any of that at all. So I'm immensely grateful. I miss the bugger so much. He's a lovely guy and his voice pops into my head very often.
Yeah. Well, that's given me big goosebumps, so thank you for sharing that. So, favourite Keith joke? Favourite Keith quote?
There's so many. So anytime I'm thinking about what to wear for a gig, Keith's voice pops into my head: jeans and tweed. I mean, I don't wear jeans and tweed. I wear jeans. I don't have any. I can't wear tweed like Keith can wear tweed. He's like, well, may music never just be another way of making money, which is kind of lovely and very true. I think the one that probably shocked my parents the most when they came to a gig was when he stood up and he said, "So I wrote to Mrs. Thatcher and I said, 'Dear Mrs. Thatch, can I have some money to do some gigs?' And she wrote back and she said, 'You can't.' And he just sat down and played the piano. I was like, I can never also repeat that. I just have. I'm very sorry. It was lovely. And I miss him very much. He's in my head all the time.
Well, I'm sure you're going to be channeling a little bit of him later when you play, and we can't wait for that. Thank you very much.
Thank you.